The flight attendant's voice pierced through the calm of the cabin with a harshness that made everyone's skin prickle. I'm going to ask you one last time. Move to the back of the plane or I'll call security. The words dripped with contempt, her tone stripped of courtesy, revealing something deeper, disdain not born from policy, but from prejudice. Alana Pierce, a composed black single mother, sat quietly in her first-class seat. She lifted her gaze, calm and unwavering. Her voice was as soft as morning light, but carried the firmness of granite. I've already told you. I'm not moving. She wasn't loud. She wasn't aggressive. Yet there was something in her presence that made the cabin uncomfortable, because it didn't fit the mold some expected. What happened next was something no one saw coming. Because the woman they assumed was just another traveler turned out to be someone far more powerful. The plane, a high-end jet bound from Los Angeles to New York, was more than transportation. It was a floating statement of class and luxury. The Italian leather seats were caramel-tinted perfection. The bar shimmered with bottles of top-shelf champagne, and gold-accented clocks ticked in soft harmony with the ambient jazz slipping from hidden Bose speakers. Everything was crafted to feel like privilege. And into this world of curated luxury stepped Alana. She wore a navy blue suit tailored to understated elegance. No glittering jewelry, no designer bag with logos screaming for attention. Just a phone in her hand and a slim laptop bag. Her hair was pinned neatly at the back of her head. Her movements were neither rushed nor slow. She simply walked like someone who had nothing to prove. No one knew she was the founder and CEO of Monarch Wings Aviation, an airline reshaping the idea of private flight. Near the door, the lead flight attendant, Harper Benton, stood with a practiced smile. In her 40s, Harper had that crisp, polished look she wore like armor. Her hair was an immaculate bun of platinum blonde, her uniform flawless. As a white couple approached, she straightened with delight. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich, welcome back. Always a pleasure. But when Harper turned to Alana, her demeanor shifted. Her smile evaporated. Her eyes skimmed Alana's shoes, her skin. Hello, Harper said flatly, voice a notch colder. I hope you're not lost. Alana met her stare with no expression, no rebuke. Just a pause. Then a small nod, and she moved past her toward her seat. Harper's gaze hardened. She didn't recognize Alana, but she decided something right then. This woman didn't belong. After guiding the Aldridges to their seats, fluffing pillows and offering herbal tea, Harper turned and watched as Alana checked her seat number and began walking forward to first class. That sacred domain Harper guarded with subtle vigilance. Harper moved to intercept. Excuse me, she said, voice laced in firm pleasantness. This area is reserved for priority guests. Alana stopped, lifted her phone, and displayed the boarding pass. I am one of them. Harper didn't even glance at the screen. She folded her arms. Strange. I don't recall seeing your name on the manifest. From nearby seats, glances shifted. A woman in designer glasses leaned to her neighbor and whispered, probably one of those auto upgrades. On the other side, a man in a charcoal suit narrowed his eyes, watching. Alana didn't raise her voice. You may want to double-check before making assumptions. Harper offered a tight, condescending smile. I don't need to check. I know who belongs here. She didn't mean it based on tickets or rules. She meant it based on what she saw, clothing, skin, demeanor. As whispers rippled behind them, Harper stood tall. If you don't move to economy, I'll call security. Alana didn't flinch. Then call. There was something in her tone, quiet and steady, that made Harper hesitate. But she didn't stop. She gestured toward her assistant, a young woman named Natalie Reyes who clutched the manifest. Natalie's eyes darted between the list and Alana. Her name was there, printed in bold, with a note, confidential priority passenger. Natalie froze. She wanted to say something, to point, but Harper's sharp glance silenced her. Move her, Harper snapped. But Natalie didn't move. She stood there, trembling, clutching the list. Alana tilted her head, her tone firm but unthreatening. Do you really want to be part of this? That was when Harper exploded. She's causing trouble. Probably snuck in here trying to scam a refund later. Passengers gasped. One by one, heads turned. The man in the charcoal suit, Gavin Roth, closed his laptop and stood. Ma'am, he said, calm but unmistakably firm, you might want to verify your list before accusing a passenger in front of the cabin. Harper turned on him. Can't you see where she's from? Silence fell like a thunderclap. Alana said nothing. She didn't need to. Her silence carried judgment more powerful than any rebuttal. Natalie's hands trembled. Gavin pressed again. Why haven't you opened the list? Harper faltered. And then Alana said, coolly, I am in the right place. Are you? It wasn't arrogance. It was truth. And it echoed through the quiet like a gavel strike. Harper, flustered but still clinging to her illusion of control, turned away and initiated pre-takeoff service. She distributed champagne with robotic precision, skipping Alana entirely. When Alana politely asked for a glass of water, Harper answered coldly, "I'll be back after I'm done." She returned minutes later with a tray of water, and when she passed Alana, she accidentally slammed her leg and spilled 3 glasses across Alana's lap. "You shouldn't have left your foot in the aisle," Harper snapped. Alana, soaked, simply looked up. "You did that on purpose." Her voice was low, her words crystal clear. Natalie, still frozen, had seen it all. Gavin stood again. "This isn't service. This is harassment." Alana continued calmly, "All I ask is to be treated like everyone else." Harper leaned closer. "Don't act like a queen just because you bought a first-class seat." Then, without warning, she slapped Alana. The sound cracked through the cabin. Everyone froze. Alana didn't move, didn't touch her cheek, just slowly turned to face Harper again. Her voice was calm. "You've just made the biggest mistake of your life." Gavin stood, furious. "You assaulted her." At that moment, Alana opened an internal company app. A few taps. Message sent. Serious violation. Flight MN 802. No fanfare. Just action. Harper mocked her. "Going to call a lawyer?" Alana replied quietly, "You'll see." Within moments, Gavin began filming. Other passengers followed. Then the cockpit door opened. Captain Dean Wallace appeared, stern. "Miss Harper, step aside." Harper started to explain, but he cut her off. "We received instructions from headquarters. The owner of this plane is on board." Harper's jaw dropped. "What?" Captain Wallace turned to Alana. "Miss Pierce, I apologize. We are following emergency protocol." Gasps rippled through the cabin. The passengers were stunned. The woman they had judged was the owner. Captain Wallace looked to Harper. "This is Alana Pierce, CEO of Monarch Wings Aviation." Harper's knees nearly buckled. Alana remained seated, calm, regal. Without needing to say a word, the cabin bent around her presence. Captain Wallace spoke again. "You violated protocol, and it was all recorded." Alana stood, adjusted her jacket, and faced Harper. "As of this moment, you were terminated. Effective immediately." Harper stammered. "I didn't know." "That's the point," Alana said. "You thought I was no one. And because of that, you showed who you are." She turned to the captain. "Please revoke her access to all Monarch Wings flights." He nodded, stripped Harper's badge, and signaled the incoming security detail. Natalie stepped forward. "Miss Pierce." "I'm so sorry. I saw it all." "You did the right thing," Alana said gently. "And for that, you'll be promoted." Minutes later, the plane made an emergency landing. On the tarmac, a black SUV waited. Uniformed TSA agents boarded. Harper was arrested for public assault. As she was escorted away, she cried, "I didn't know who she was." Alana replied without turning around, "You don't need to know who someone is to treat them with dignity." Back in the cabin, silence reigned. Then, slowly, applause erupted. It wasn't for a CEO. It was for justice. 2 days later, Alana appeared on national news. When asked why she chose not to let it go, she said simply, "Because respect isn't a reward. It's a right." Her words ignited a global movement. Aviation companies overhauled training. Schools taught her quote. Employees across industries carried her story like a banner. And Harper? Her name became a cautionary tale in ethics training. Alana Pierce, once underestimated, had reshaped not just a company, but an entire culture. And as her plane took off again weeks later, her eyes gazed out the window, knowing she didn't rise for status, but for every voice silenced before her. And now, the skies were listening.